So you're moving to Thailand. You've watched all the beach videos. You've researched where the cheapest place to get your cold Leos is. And you just got one question for yourself. What happens if I get sick? Good question. And honestly, it's one of the smartest questions that you can ask before moving here. Because the truth is, Thailand's healthcare system is amazing if you know how to use it. Welcome back to the series I'm calling The Complete Guide to Retiring in Thailand. This is video number 4. I'm going to be talking all about healthcare and dental, much to my chagrin. I'm going to be breaking down how the healthcare system works. I'm going to be talking about dental and pharmacies and clinics. You're going to be shocked because I'm going to also do a price comparison of what a lot of common procedures cost in Thailand versus back in the West. It's pretty wild. And yes, I'm also going to be talking about health insurance. As a matter of fact, before getting into it, I just wanted to thank the sponsor of today's video, Safety Wing. I'm going to be talking more about them later, but I wanted to give you a QR code. They have a nice, cool pricing calculator. You can scan that, see how much health insurance would cost you. All right, so to start, let me explain the healthcare system here. Thailand runs on what's called a two-tier healthcare system. You got public hospitals, and then you got private hospitals. So let's start with public hospitals. They're government run. They got good doctors. They got low prices, but you might wait a bit longer. That sounds a little bit like the healthcare system in my home country of Canada. Eh, fellow Canucks? You know what I'm talking about, especially the waiting part. You go into an emergency room in Canada, and unless you got a severed limb, excuse me, doctor, I'm missing my right arm. Okay, they might see you right away in that case. Anything short of a severed limb, you're probably spending the day in there. I really just wanted to say severed limb. Anyway, in the public hospitals here, the facilities are pretty basic. The doctors in public hospitals, they're usually excellent. Many of them were trained abroad. English could be a bit of a challenge. It's hit or miss. But don't worry, just get used to using Google Translate on your phone or bring a Thai friend in with you to help you out if you're afraid to go it alone. So the big question, how much do they cost? It's public, you say. They should be free, right? Well, not so fast. So here's the catch. Unless you're legally employed and paying into Thai Social Security, foreigners aren't going to get free health care here in Thailand. You're going to be paying out of pocket or using your health insurance to pay any bills that you have, even if you go to a public hospital. I'm going to be running down the full price comparison in just a minute, so hold your horses. Stop yelling at the TV screen, remember? You're supposed to be lounging on your sofa, just chilling, drink in hand. So sit back and enjoy. I'm going to get to the price comparison soon. I've only ever been to a public hospital once during my time living here. It was about 5 years ago. I visited Bangkok Christian Hospital. I thought I had a broken toe. Yes, Bangkok Christian Hospital. I think I might have a broken toe.
Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrows.
The cost was 800 baht. I think that was for the x-ray. That's about $25. And then 1,580 baht, which included the doctor's fees plus the prescription medicine. So about another $50 there. So that's grand total of $23.80. What's that, like 70 bucks, 75 bucks? Anyways, I made a video of this whole trip to the Bangkok hospital. So if you want to see inside a public hospital, see what that experience is like, I'll leave a link in the description below. So let's talk about the private system. And let's be honest, this is where most of us expats end up going. And there's good reason for that. Private hospitals in Thailand are genuinely world class. If you walk into Bumrungrad or Bangkok Hospital, these places look like five-star hotels with MRI machines. The staff speak English, wait times are short. You could just walk in off the street and you'll be seeing a specialist within an hour. As far as private hospitals, I've been to both Bangkok Hospital and Bumrungrad Hospital. And I actually, I had to sneak my camera into Bangkok Hospital to get footage of that. That was years ago. That was one of the first channels on my other YouTube channel that actually got a ton of views. I remember that moment. Anyway, I'll leave a link. But what about the prices of these private hospitals? Well, they're definitely more expensive than the public hospitals here. But it's not like you're going to need to rob a bank to pay for it. You're not going to have to sell crack behind a dumpster to foot the bill. As a matter of fact, let's go down to the trusted laptop here and run through what some common procedures cost and compare that to what it might cost in the USA. I'm going to be using average numbers here. So if you notice anything that's out of whack or different from your personal experience, that's what the comments section's for. I really loved reading some of the comments in the first few videos of this series. A lot of you are adding some good value for other people. And that's what I'm really hoping goes on in the comment section. So thanks to those people that did. Okay, some common costs. An MRI scan costs about $1,400 in the US. Over here in Thailand, average cost is about $500. A hip replacement. All us old people need to think about hip replacements. I don't like thinking about hip replacements. Anyway, soon enough, I'm sure I won't be thinking about it. I'll be getting a hip replaced, and that would cost about $36,000 in the US or $12,000 in Thailand. A knee replacement, 40 grand in the US, 12 grand in Thailand. One night in an ICU, 4,000 in the US, $700 in Thailand. So this is just for kind of the basic ICU room. Of course, depending on what other services and surgeries and crap that you need to have done with you that might have put you into the ICU, your bill could go up from there. But that's just to compare the room prices. Next up, rhinoplasty. Want a nose job? 6 grand in the US? Is that right? Can anyone tell me? $1,000 here. Rhinoplasty is literally the worst name ever. Rhinoplasty. Who the hell thought up that one? While we're on plastic surgery, breast augmentation costs about $10,000 in the US. In Thailand, you can get it for about $3,000. Lucky for me, I'm going to be able to save that $3,000 because I have all natural man boobs. Titties. I'd say they're a B cup. So no breast augmentation for me. But if you're looking for new titties, it'd cost you about 3 grand over here. And then small stuff. One time I went scuba diving out here, ended up getting a weird ear issue. Got back to Bangkok a week later. The ear was still weird. So I thought I'd go to the hospital. So we've arrived here at Bangkok Hospital, and as you can see, it's more like a plaza. There's a lot of different buildings. They do pretty much every type of care you could think of. I literally walked in off the street to Bangkok Hospital in Bangkok. This is like one of the premium, tippity top hospitals. There was literally a guy playing a grand piano in the lobby. I just walked up to the counter, said I'm here for nothing urgent. I had a sore ear from scuba diving. Boom. Within minutes, they check me in. They send me to see a general doctor. The general doctor then recommends me to the ETR, ENT, ear, nose, throat specialist. So boom. Well, what do I have to book and come back next week? No, you can go right now. So then I walk all down, and next thing I'm seeing an ear, nose, and throat specialist. Next thing, they put me in this little room, give me a hearing test with a technician, and the grand total price for all of that?
1,820 baht.
1,820?
Yes.
It's crazy, right? And that was like a video from 5 years ago. So I have aged. I probably had a little less grays back then. So one other healthcare story for you. I got a buddy here about a year and a half ago. was walking, slipped, fell, tore up his knee, like knee ligaments, ACL, MCL, the worst of the worst, all severed. So what did he end up needing? He needed an ambulance to take him initially. He needed a doctor to see him for the consultation. He ended up going to a local hospital here on Samui, a new one they built last year called Watanapat. Great little hospital, by the way. If you're ever looking for a hospital on Samui, mark that down. So he meets a doctor, a specialist, a knee surgery specialist. His name was Dr. Get. Whatever you need, he gets. That would be a good billboard for Dr. Get. Dr. Get, if you're listening, you can have that idea royalty free. Anyway, Dr. Get, really good knee surgeon, does surgery. How long did he have to wait? Like 3 days. And then they had him in for surgery. Boom, successful knee surgery. He had to stay in the hospital for 4 days. He got a private room, gorgeous room. I had to sleep with him, not with him, but the room had a day bed. So I didn't have to sleep with him and I didn't have to curl up in a chair. And he was in there for 4 nights, the ambulance, the surgery, some of the follow-up care. The grand total for all of that was about 420,000 baht. And this is the perfect time to talk about health insurance. First of all, if you run into a situation like that and you need urgent surgery, urgent care, you're definitely going to want to have some decent health coverage. Secondly, it's not one size fits all. There's a lot to consider here. Your age, your general health. Probably and most important is your country of origin. Do you have insurance back home that you're going to keep? Does your country offer free health care that you're going to maintain access to? The bottom line is that your health care setup should match your life setup. Don't just copy what someone else is doing. All I can tell you is the way that I think about it, and then you got to do your own thinking and make your own decision about what's right for you. So for me, my wife and I, we want to spend about 9 or 10 months a year here in Thailand, and then we want to do some traveling, maybe 2 or 3 months a year. So rather than get something local in Thailand to cover us here, and then have to buy travel insurance every time we go away, I wanted something that just covered our lifestyle. So for these reasons, since moving to Thailand 7 years ago, I've used a company called Safety Wing. What I like most about them is that this is a company that was founded with nomads like us in mind. And they got this new Nomad Complete insurance that launched recently. And it's the best example of how they cater to our needs. The Nomad Complete plan's great because it's global. You got coverage in over 175 countries. So when you want to spend a few months bouncing around between Asia, Europe, or back home, you don't need to worry about buying separate travel insurance. And for us old bastards, here's a good one. Once you're in, even after you turn 65. As long as you keep renewing your policy, your coverage continues, and that's rare. It covers you for up to $1.5 million per year, and it's meant to be your true global insurance plan. It doesn't just cover accidents or big stuff like cancer. It also covers everyday things like wellness visits, specialty doctors, even mental health. Another cool thing is that the price is based only on your age, not how many times you've used it. So there's no penalty for taking advantage of actually using the benefits. And there's no deductible or copay either, and that's cool. Now, I'm not saying that you should get this insurance, but I did want to share with you what I decided to use to match our lifestyle, knowing that we're going to be a bit nomadic in the coming years. If you're curious to know what it would cost you, they have a free pricing calculator. Just scan this QR code here. I'll also leave a link in the description below. You can check it out for yourself, see how much it would cost you. And thank you to Safety Wing for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into dental. My least favorite topic on planet Earth. Well, that and the Leafs Cup drought. Come to think of it, watching the Leafs is about as much fun as a root canal. So there is that. Anyways, dental here is awesome. I've experienced it way more times than I'd like to share with you. My teeth are not my strong suit. I understand that, but I will talk about it. So first of all, you get great value here. So here's a quick story. I had an implant put in just before moving to Thailand back in 2019. I was living in Los Angeles, and I got a toothache and I'm like, shit, I'm like 3 months away from moving to Thailand. And if this is you, remember this story. And so I had no clue what dental was like in Thailand back then in 2019. So I rushed to get it taken care of in LA. Found an implant specialist, got the implant done. He did a pretty good job, but it cost me $6,000 US. Over here, I would only find out later, it would have been 75% cheaper. And you're going to find that with medical and dental across the board. You're looking at usually 60 to 70% cheaper than what you'd pay back home. And I'd say the quality is actually better here. That's my opinion. It's such good value here. The Thailand has like a solid medical tourism and dental tourism industry. I got a buddy named Kyle. I think he had either 2 or 3 implants he needed to get done. And he flew from Texas, got the dental work done, had a 3 or 4 week vacation, flew home, and including the flights, resorts, dental work, he still saved money. So he got a free trip to Thailand out of the deal as compared to have gotten it all done back in Texas. So even if you're not moving here, if you got some major dental work coming up, it might be a way to get yourself a kind of a free trip to Thailand. And if you want to see a whole video about Kyle's experience getting it done, I'll link that in the description below. It's a great inside look at dental care in Thailand. Man, that's a lot of links. This series is getting quite useful, it feels like, isn't it? That's good. I hope you're finding it useful. Actually, if you are, do me a favor. Just, would you give that like button just a little tickle? Just give it a little tickle for me. The like button. It actually helps and it's appreciated, and it's just one little tickle, so thank you. Okay, so let's run down the common dental costs with comparisons of prices back in the West. Checkup and cleaning cost about $200 in the US. What about the UK, Australia? Comment below. It costs about $40 here. A ceramic crown, about $1,000 in the US, about $600 here. Implant per tooth, $4,500 in the US. Well, I can attest that mine was even more than that. It's probably because I was living in LA, competing for dentists with the likes of Harrison Ford and Pat Sajak, just driving dental rates up in LA, the land of the veneers. Imagine how much boob jobs would be there. Teeth whitening, $400 in the US, $200 here. Half price, baby. And a root canal, $1,200 in the US, $300 here. Trust me, I know my way around a root canal. I've had several of them back in America and Canada, and unfortunately, I've had several more here in Thailand. And I will say the service here for me was better. I love my dentist. It's in Bangkok. It's a place called Edelweiss. I gave you a link in my relocation checklist, which you can get in the description below as well. But as I said earlier, if I got any of the costs wrong in either the dental or the medical examples that I've shown here, comment below. Let's make this comment section a place where we help each other get even more out of this series. Or you could just leave like a really angry comment. Chris is a stupid liar. My root canal only cost $900 in Albuquerque. Chris, you're a lying, no good piece of shit. Oh, the internet trolls. What sad lives they lead. Anyway, next up, pharmacies. These have changed a lot since I first started coming here. Here's a story for you. I first came to Thailand in 1994, and one of the first things I did was head over to the neighboring island to where I am now, over to Koh Phangan for a full moon party. And I came down with something. Not sure what it was, but I had to go into a pharmacy. So I go into a pharmacy, and there's another young fella in there. Remember, I was 22 at the time. And this guy goes up straight to the pharmacist and says, "Hello, can I get mushrooms?" And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's ordering mushrooms in a pharmacy? What the hell? He's going to get arrested. He's going to get what? The pharmacist just looked at him and said, okay. And then she turns around and she had a little hot plate. And here she is turning around a little hot plate. She cooks up an omelet. Full mushroom omelet, gives it to him in a styrofoam takeout container. So as I say, pharmacies have changed. I'm pretty sure that's not happening anymore. And I swear that story was about this guy that I saw. It had nothing to do with me. I was the innocent bystander. Yadom, anyone? Actually, there's your Thai word of the day, Yadom. And this is the brand you want if you're ever here. 7-Eleven, it's called Krung Thai, the gold seal of Yadom. Mushroom omelets aside, pharmacists are another huge win for expats here. You can walk into most of them and just talk directly to the pharmacist right away. Tell them what's wrong with you, and they're going to be able to recommend and give you medication without you having to go to a doctor a lot of times. So common meds like antibiotics, allergy pills, painkillers, and vitamins are cheap and available without a prescription. If you need prescription drugs, you're going to need a Thai doctor to reissue the script, most likely. Make sure to bring your old labels and take those, see a Thai doctor, and then get a new prescription, and then go get that filled. And here's a pro tip for you. Standalone pharmacies are usually cheaper than the ones that you'll find located inside the hospitals, often by about 30 to 40%. So when you're done at the doctor, and if you go to a hospital, don't go to that pharmacy. Walk out, stop at the first old lady who's making delicious homemade noodles, and then keep walking and find a local pharmacy. Save yourself 30 to 40%. That will have covered your bowl of noodles. Boom! Pro tip. And one last part of healthcare that you should know about is the clinics. From general purpose clinics to specialists. This is where most expats go once you're living over here for anything small. There's usually going to be one close to where you live. They're usually really cheap. And as long as you know the right one to go to, then the service and experience is top notch. For me, my local clinic is called Samui Home Clinic. It's incredible, great, friendly service. It's a 5-minute drive. Last time I went in there, I had some piece of metal stuck in the bottom of my foot. And so I went in there and they had to inject a needle literally into the bottom of my foot to freeze it, and then get a scalpel and cut it out and pull the little piece of metal out. All in, it was like $40, 1,000 baht. What's that, 30 bucks? 40 Canadian. Great little clinic. Samui Home Clinic, if you live on Samui, is the place to go. Now, here's some other handy info for you real quick. If you ever need an ambulance in Thailand, you want to dial 1669. In the major expat areas, Samui, Phuket, Chiang Mai, places like this, it's often faster to just call the private hospital directly if you want an ambulance. They'll send their own ambulance quickly straight away to you, so that's an option. You're also going to want to save 191. That's kind of the equivalent of 911 back in the West. 199 for fire. 1155 for tourist police. And stop writing these down. I see some of you trying to keep up with a little pen and paper. Don't worry about it. Put your pencil down and pick your drink back up. All these numbers are going to be available down in my Thailand relocation checklist that I made for you. So you can scan this QR code, or you'll find the checklist link in the description below. I'm going to send it to you instantly. Okay, finally, let's talk annual budgets here. What might you actually spend on healthcare when you're living here? I'm going to say you got two general paths you could go down. First option, the minimal path. That'd be 40 to 60,000 baht per year, roughly. That means you're probably using mostly public hospitals, basic checkups. You're not getting the premier pimped out services, maybe just the odd dental cleaning. You're dealing with small emergencies, and you would only have a cheap insurance plan with limited coverage. Option number 2, I'm going to call complete care. And that can vary greatly. So I've said 100 to 190,000 baht. This would get you comprehensive annual screenings, really good private insurance, being able to visit some specialists as needed, some more extensive dental work. Which one of these 2 options suits you best? That kind of depends. It depends on your health, your age, your comfort level as it pertains to insurance and risk. A 30-year-old nomad could probably live perfectly fine on the minimal plan. A 60-something-year-old retiree, you might sleep a little better budgeting out and going with the complete care route. Either way, the choice is totally yours. Now, if you do want to know how much you pay for a complete plan, then scan this QR code again. This takes you right to Safety Wing's pricing calculator, and they'll tell you what it costs. Also a link in the description below. And click here for the next video in the series. This one's going to be absolutely huge. It's all about visas. And I think I'm going to shave this decrepit beard. So click on this video and you'll see if I actually shaved it.